You raised them with love. You stayed up at night when they were sick, celebrated every milestone, and made sacrifices only a parent could understand. But now, something's changed. The phone calls are rare. When they do happen, they feel cold, rushed, sometimes even dismissive. And the respect, the simple warmth in their voice, the gentle tone, the sense of being valued, seems to have vanished. If your grown children have stopped respecting you, you are not alone. But before you react the way most parents do, by pleading, reminding them of your sacrifices, or getting angry, pause. Because what you need to do next is not what you think. Let's talk about Ravi, a retired school teacher from Pune. At 72, Ravi believed he had done everything right. He raised his 2 sons with care, discipline, and love. He paid for their education, helped them settle down, and even sold a piece of ancestral land to help one son buy a flat in the city. Today, one of his sons lives just 15 minutes away but hasn't visited in more than a year. The other only calls when he needs a document signed or financial advice. One afternoon, after being excluded from yet another family event, Ravi sat quietly in his living room and whispered, "I feel like a stranger to my own children." That statement echoes in homes around the world, where elderly parents sit in silent heartbreak, wondering how things changed so much. The truth is, respect doesn't disappear overnight. It fades gradually, almost invisibly. Sometimes grown children start seeing their parents as outdated, irrelevant in their fast-paced modern world. Other times, old emotional wounds, moments of misunderstanding or discipline from years ago, remain unspoken but deeply felt. But often, the shift happens because the parent-child relationship hasn't evolved. What once was a dynamic of authority and guidance should now become one of mutual understanding, adult boundaries, and emotional intelligence. When that evolution doesn't happen, grown children can begin to feel resentment instead of gratitude, and distance instead of closeness. And in many cases, that turns into subtle or even open disrespect. Understandably, most parents respond emotionally. They remind their children of everything they've done: the sleepless nights, the money spent, the dreams sacrificed. They might try to guilt their children into behaving better or lash out in frustration. But as hard as this is to hear, those actions usually backfire. Children, even as adults, don't respond well to guilt or demands. Respect is not something that can be begged for or forced, it's something that must be inspired. And inspiring respect, even later in life, begins not with confrontation, but with quiet transformation. That's what Ravi realized one day while sitting alone at his local temple. He stopped chasing his son's approval and instead focused on restoring his own self-respect. He began by rebuilding his routine. Mornings started with a peaceful walk and a cup of masala chai on the balcony. He joined a senior citizens reading group at the community library and rediscovered his love for sketching. Slowly, his life started to feel full again, not because his sons were more present, but because he was. Next, Ravi established gentle boundaries. He was no longer available at a moment's notice. When one of his sons demanded help with a sudden bank issue, Ravi calmly said, "I'd be happy to help tomorrow afternoon. I have plans this morning." That small statement was powerful. It showed that his time had value. He also stopped tolerating disrespectful tones. During one call, when his older son snapped at him, Ravi simply replied, "I love you, but I won't let myself be spoken to that way. Let's talk when things are calmer." He said it with no anger, just dignity. That moment marked a shift. Over the next few months, something unexpected happened. His sons, though initially surprised, began to show more patience in their conversations. They started asking how he was, not just what he could do for them. No, they didn't become perfect, but they began to notice him again. Respect had returned not because Ravi demanded it, but because he modeled it. The truth is, self-respect is magnetic. When you carry yourself with quiet strength, people respond differently, including your children. If they see you living a full, purposeful life, not sitting by the phone, waiting, they are reminded of your strength, your value, your identity beyond just being mom or dad. So, what can you do starting today if you feel disrespected by your grown children? First, reconnect with yourself. Think back to who you were before life became all about parenting. What passions did you have? What friendships have you neglected? Rekindle those flames. Second, speak your truth without begging. Say things like, "I'd love to see you when you're free, but I understand you're busy." When you stop chasing their time, you create space for them to come closer on their own. Third, establish boundaries kindly but firmly. Let them know you're available for support, but not at the cost of your own peace. And lastly, model the behavior you want to see. Treat yourself with dignity and carry yourself with quiet confidence. They may not change overnight. Some may never change at all. But your peace, your self-worth, should not depend on anyone else's approval, not even your children's. You are not just a parent. You are a whole person, a reservoir of wisdom, a legacy in motion, and you deserve respect, not because you ask for it, but because you embody it. So, if you're hurting right now, take heart. It's never too late to rewrite your relationship, but the first chapter must begin with you. Reclaim your dignity, reignite your joy, and remember, when you respect yourself deeply, the world, including your children, starts to follow. If this message spoke to you, you're not alone. Subscribe to Senior Guidance for more stories, lessons, and encouragement crafted for people just like you. Because the world may forget, but we will always remember the strength, the love, and the dignity that lives in you.